Wow, look at that. It's August 16th, and they finally posted who won. Huh. But before I show off the results, as you can probably just go look at the website yourself, I want to talk about my experience with ArtFight. Hello, my name is Lewis Lockhart. I am an artist, specifically a digital one, and I participated in ArtFight July 2026 for the very first time ever. I literally started setting up my account a day before ArtFight started, so I didn't really have any time to get my characters up. Literally no time. There was barely any references because most of these characters are either in my head or written down in some story that nobody's gonna read. And yeah, I didn't really have many artworks. And this was during a time that if you didn't see any of my other videos, I was kind of lost in an art style. And what I mean by that is that I didn't really have an art style. Like, technically every artist can have an art style, but for me, I was stuck in this space where I literally just didn't have one. I didn't have a consistent one. Every artwork I made was always in this different style and stuff. So coming at a time where you had to consistently draw attacks almost every single day was a bit of a challenge for me. Because before Art Fight, let me just give some context. Before Art Fight begun, I was really only drawing like every once in a while. The last artwork I had drawn was all the way back in the start of June. So when July was coming up, and Art Fight was coming up as well, I didn't know if I wanted to join or not. I didn't know if I would have the motivation to draw that much in 1 month. And even with like the competitive aspect, I'm not a very like competitive person. I don't really like, I play competitive games, but I play them for fun. I don't play them because I want to win. So like, I wouldn't even know if I'd be a good teammate joining Art Fight and stuff. But after a little bit of convincing of myself and also just seeing that my friends and my partner was going to do Art Fight this year, I said, fuck it, let's try it out. So I looked at the teams and I saw comedy, tragedy, and mystery, and I'm not gonna lie, mystery spoke out to me because it just looked the coolest, and the color red. If you just take a quick look at my channel, you can probably see easily what my favorite color is. It's probably red or blue. Both of those are pretty great, or pink. I really like any of the warm colors, but except yellow. I picked mystery because the red, and also just I like mystery stuff. I'm more of a mystery fan and such, so I picked that team in particular. For anyone who's already seen the scores, I'm sorry, Team Mystery, I couldn't do much for you. But anyway, that's just some foreshadowing there for you. Let's get on to how the month went. So I picked out, I realized you can make folders on the site, and on the site I decided to make two separate folders. Or well, I guess bookmarks, technically. I made two different folders. I made do these attacks and finished attacks. Very simple. And I ended up bookmarking about 50 characters from different teams, and also some from my own team, to attack. And then I got very curious. I remember seeing that there's a tag system, and then I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. Could I find a community that I was a part of, a fandom that I thought was dead for years? Could I potentially find them? And the community that I'm referring to is the Dishonored community, because the Dishonored games are possibly my favorite games of all time, specifically the first one being #1, the second and Death of the Outsider being somewhere in the top 25. And it's because of how much freedom that these games give you, and how you can kind of go about it in infinite ways. It feels like an infinite sandbox. You can go stealthily or full-on chaos and stuff. So I wanted to see if the Dishonored community was doing Art Fight, and my God Almighty, I found them. I thought for all these years these people were gone. I thought they were dead. Not actually dead, like they killed themselves or some shit like that. I mean, like, they just weren't interacting with the community and they moved on to some other stuff like TADC and such. So I managed to find a lot of people who had like their own original like AU versions of OCs from like Dishonored 1, 2, and Death of the Outsider and shit like that. The first one I ended up finding was from a user named, I'm gonna butcher this name, Mash Noir OJK 0JK, with a character named, I'm also gonna butcher this name, Valky? Valkji? I don't know how to pronounce this. Here it is on screen. Um, and it was like an overseer character that was banished from the overseers or something like that. I read up briefly on its I mean, I don't remember their pronouns. I remember reading on its description, on their description, and it's saying that they were like an archivist, for the Abbey of the Everyman at one point, looking at some black magic artifacts to none of the other members of the overseers got to see and stuff. And I was like, dude, I already have an idea for that. So I bookmarked a few more Dishonored characters I ended up finding, and I got to drawing. And let me tell you, I swear to God, I made some incredible artworks this year. And I ended up finding out, spoiler alert, I ended up finding out I do have an art style, and it's one that I really like. And Art Fight, if it wasn't for Art Fight, I probably would have never known that I had an art style this entire time. And it's a simple one that I've had for since 2021. I just never went back to it because I was not willing to try to improve it until Art Fight had begun. And this time in this video, I will be talking to you about how I found my art style and how I managed to upkeep it even after the month ended. And I'll be showing you every single attack that I have done and only go into detail if it was a special like attack, if you know what I mean. So let us begin. I did 30 attacks this year. Not kidding. I am not lying to you. For a first year of Art Fight, I think 30 attacks is pretty fucking good. Especially as I haven't drawn a lot and such within the last few months. 30 attacks is quite a bit. I gotta tell you the stats that I had for Team Mystery. I had a battle ratio of 71%. I just rounded that. It's technically 71.43%. But anyway, I scored, I'm almost going to round this too. I scored 2,169 points. I'm glad that there's a 69 in there and not a 67. My attacks, of course, I had 30, but 25 of them were normal attacks and 5 of them were friendly fires. And I had 12 people attack me and my characters, which made me extremely, extremely happy. Because I was really not expecting anyone to attack me back because, well, look at the channel. I'm only at like 100 and something subscribers, so like, duh. So I felt like maybe nobody would end up attacking me, but there's a lot of people who attacked me back that I attacked first. Let's start with my characters that I uploaded to the site. So the characters you're going to be seeing on screen are the characters that I put up before I drawn their newer versions in August. So you'll be seeing the only reference that managed to get put up that I could find for the month that I quickly put together in June, on like June 30th and stuff. We had my characters Atlas, Violet, Layla, Nicholas, and Christopher, the narrator, and Lewis Lockhart, which is me. So I did put myself on there as well, but I mean, I've seen some other people on their profiles put themselves on there too, so I don't really see an issue with that. I need to take a sip of water. Give me a second. Okay. Now, Layla and Violet had basically no artworks for them. They were only just drawn out sketches and stuff, which made it really tough to try to give them more references, and I ended up creating an artwork and attack that would help a lot of people. Not a lot of people, I don't know why I'm saying a lot of people. It did help one person actually figure out what she looked like, specifically Violet. But we'll get on to that attack whenever I get there. Atlas, I just had literally a reference image for him, one what he looks like from the back, and a basic reference of what he looked like with his color palette. Not much there. Christopher also had just like literally just one reference for him. Same thing with the narrator. Narrator only had one reference, and Lewis Lockhart, I've drawn him a lot, but there's very few references really as well for him. Like, I had the reaction images and that was really it. But if people want to draw him in the more badass way, I did have the set of armor and the Crusader gear, but only 2 artworks of that, unfortunately. And Nicholas also only had just one reference, unfortunately. A lot of these characters I uploaded to the site only had one reference, unfortunately. But I did what I could within the span of time that I had. Now, let's actually talk about the attacks. The first person I ever attacked on Art Fight was my partner, Sparrow. with their character, I'm gonna butcher this name, trying to pronounce it, Ray? Rhea? Ray? Their character, Ray, I'm gonna call her Ray, their character, Ray, was, from what I understood, is both like a human and a mermaid, like they can switch between human form and mermaid form. I slightly read the description, but mostly I already had the idea, and I went to drawing this character immediately because I had an idea where it's kind of like like the playing cards and playing decks and stuff. That was the idea, and what I did is that on the top bit I drew the human form, and then upside down I drew the mermaid form. The mermaid form, and I'm not gonna lie, this turned out very good. And the simplicity of the shading of the hard shadows as well as some soft ones and stuff made me realize maybe I should stick with that the entire month and see how it goes. After I did that attack, I saw that there's a guy on Artfight by the user of Battenbug. Battenbug had uploaded a stick figure named Lil Joe and said, "Go wild, just draw whatever." And I was like, you know what? Let's just draw the stick figure, and then I'm gonna draw an elaborate background, because why the fuck not? Because if you don't know anything about me, I'm a landscape artist, more than I am drawing characters. So you'll probably see that the landscapes will look fabulous, while the characters look, alright. Which, honestly, in my opinion, I think I did a good job with characters this month, or last month. As of recording this, it's already halfway through August. But regardless, though, the majority of artworks I managed to do for July was fucking insane. I did a really good job, I think, in my opinion. And Lil Joe here, I just wanted to give him an honorable mention. I literally just went into it with drawing the stick figure first, finish it, and then draw the background. That's all I did. My next attack was probably the longest time that I've spent on an attack. I put a lot of effort into this one, and it was the first, the character that I mentioned, Valky, I don't know, Valk, the Overseer. The user Mash Noir, I used their character, not used, I took their character, and I had an idea already in mind. I already knew exactly what I wanted to draw. I wanted to draw their OC with the Overseer's mask and everything, sitting in a room, in specifically a room that looks like it comes from the High Overseer's offices, and make it look like they're studying some map that had Pandysia and the Isles on it. And I went to extensive methods to creating this artwork. I needed some references of the environment a lot, because I didn't know, like, I'm a big fan of Dishonored, but I never really studied the environments and like super in depth, you know. So I learned how to use the admin console on Dishonored. Didn't even know there was one for the first game, but there was. And I immediately started using the admin console to go into like no clipping and stuff like that. And I opened up the second level of Dishonored, High Overseer Campbell. I don't know what the level's actually called, but it's where you go to assassinate High Overseer Campbell. And I immediately cleared out the level of any overseers, just immediately, and went to a room called the Archives, because I know there's an archive room where whenever you walk in there initially, you can hear an overseer talking about Overseer Martin and how he helped Corvo escape from the prison. And so I went to that room and knocked out all the overseers and stuff, and I just started studying it. I looked at the cabinets, I looked at the bookshelves, I looked at the desks, the tables, even the lamps and stuff, the lights on the ceiling, and I started to form an idea of how I wanted to do it. I knew that I was going to put Mash Noir's character sitting at a table studying the artifacts, and then I was going to just draw the background. I looked at the banners of the High Overseers, and then finally, after gathering all the references, I went into Clip Studio Paint and started drawing. This artwork took forever, and after a few hours, approximately around 8 hours it took to draw this, I finally finished drawing it, and oh my lord, this was possibly one of my favorite artworks I've ever done, and one of the most detailed attacks, and at the moment, whenever I finished drawing this one, it was my highest scoring artwork at 77 points. Pretty crazy. Now, we give some other honorable mentions that don't really deserve too much of a very in-depth idea of how I went about drawing the artwork. We've got Finnica Trot from my friend Moth. This is their OC. I'm pretty sure their OC is based in Zenless Zone Zero. It was the first time I drew a furry. Or a furry human? Fur, I don't know. I don't know what to call them. Furry animal thing. And the next artwork I did was of my friend Nex, Sparrow's best friend. I did his character Jess, which I'm pretty sure is the pronouns are he, him for this character. Yes, it is he, him pronouns. All right, awesome. So when I saw Jess's character or Nex's character Jess, I was immediately like, I already know exactly what I want to do. I wanted the camera to be facing upwards towards the sky and have Jess be standing over the camera. Kind of like it's high noon, you know, like McCree from Overwatch, you know. I don't know, I've heard some controversy about Overwatch, how McCree's name changed to something else, but I don't know the new name. I only know him as McCree. So, sorry Overwatch fans if I'm calling your character the old name. I played Overwatch before Overwatch 2 came out. I don't play it as much anymore because I've heard it's dog-ass today, so I just don't play it. Anyway, regardless, got sidetracked. I thought of the it's high noon whenever I saw Jess, so I was immediately like, alright, camera's facing upwards, facing towards the character, and the sun's gonna be above him. But then I did something special. I really like animating the smoke of a cigarette. I don't know why. I did it with the TV Girl artwork I did last year. I think I did that one. Or maybe it was this year. I don't remember when it was. I did a TV Girl artwork that was similar. Had a piece of a cigarette just smoking through the air, and I was like, I want to do that with this artwork too. So this was the first animated attack that I did, and this scored me a total of 80 points. Pretty simple, I guess. I mean, it was just cigarette movement, so I mean, it wasn't that in depth anyway. But I think I did a really good job. I really like how I did the lighting and everything about how naturally Jess just fits into the artwork. I really like how I did the plaid of the t-shirt. Or, not the t-shirt, the plaid of the button-up shirt. I just think it turned out really, really well. And Nex absolutely loved this attack too. So, I'm very happy with it. And then we'll go ahead and go through some other mentions that don't deserve too much. Not like they don't deserve it, but like they weren't like super special, you know. It was just kind of like a normal process, you know what I mean? We got this Rubik's Cube character whose name was Robert, Ruby, and Rubik's Cube. They had like 3 different names. What was their pronouns again? I drew so many characters I don't remember every pronoun. They went by any pronouns. Okay, this character Robert was my most suggestive artwork. I don't even know if I'm sure that I can like actually upload the character onto, or not upload. I'm not sure if I can actually upload show it on YouTube. If I can't, you'll see that you probably just a blurry screen up on the screen, or it says censored with a big old box. But it's basically a Rubik's Cube that's shirtless with some hair on its body, laying down in bed all sexy and stuff. I like. The next artwork I did is of a character called Tinin, I think is how you pronounce that. Tinin the Tin Man. Mustela? Something like that. And this user, Alien, was someone who I ended up yapping with for the majority of the month of Art Fight. We literally yapped forever about Dishonored, Call of Cthulhu, and stuff. Shout out to you, Alien. I very much enjoyed talking with you the entire month, and remember, you have my Instagram now, so if you want to talk again, just message me on there. I did message you asking if I had permission to put you in the Art Fight video, but you didn't respond. And since we were so chill with each other, I am going to take the assumption that you will be fine with this. I'm also taking the assumption that other people would be fine with this as well. But if you aren't fine with it, and you find this video and you weren't okay with me talking about you in the video and about your characters and stuff, just let me know and I will remove that portion of the video. So yeah, but Alien's character Tinin, I had originally an idea with this character because it was mentioned that Tinin could take out tall boys and stuff, but then I couldn't figure out how to draw the tall boys in Dishonored, so I kind of scrapped that original idea and then just drew some sort of like the void infection that was going on with the character on his eye and stuff. This is the only time I drew an eye like this for a character. I'm not a fan of drawing eyes like this. It's not my most favorite artwork, but I'm just very happy that Elian ended up liking the character. That he, I think, wait, let me go look at his pronouns. Okay, it is he, him, okay. And also hush. I don't know how to use the Neo pronouns, but anyway, I'm just very glad that he very much loved this artwork. He called it that was iconic and relatable. He loved it so much and such. It was very, very cool. And he also revenged me, drawing my character Nicholas, to which, oh my god, I love this artwork of Nicholas so much. I love that he got the nose correct. I've seen so many artworks before of people drawing other people's characters and like getting a detail wrong or something. And it didn't help that I didn't have, you know, the greatest references, but I'm so glad that he drew the facial hair correctly and also the nose correctly. Even I, drawing my own characters, have drawn the characters wrong a couple of times by accident. He got the scarf right, the hair, I love how he did the hair. And even if that was just a pencil artwork, I just love just the artwork and stuff, and it was just so cool. I love that attack. And now we're gonna continue onward. Here's an artwork of user Mozzarella Mint's character Jeremiah, just sitting under a tree. Classic. I did draw the watchtower of Dunwall in the background, and the flower there was specifically inspired by the flowers from the Brigmore Witches DLC whenever you reach the Brigmore Witches Manor. It was really cool, just simple artwork and stuff. Next one after that was my friend Loading. His character, Kala, I think is how you pronounce her name, who was a Pokemon trainer. And so I drew one of her Pokemon in the background and did the Wojak pose where they're pointing with their mouths wide open. That was this artwork, and I think it turned out really cool and really funny. Loading ended up loving this artwork, so yippee, another one. And also, Loading did revenge against me. Loading's artwork was of Nicholas, and it was a fabulous artwork. I really loved it. He also got the details correct with the beard and the facial hair and stuff. And I realized I didn't do a good job of uploading the color palette for Nicholas, so I don't blame for the different colors of the outfit being wrong and stuff like that. That's okay. I didn't bark about it too much. I didn't bark about it at all, actually. And I appreciate it and love this attack so much. And then we're going to move on to this other character, who I do want to talk about a little bit of the thought process and story behind this character. This character is Ronnie, which is Sky Magpie's character. This is Ronnie. This is Sky Magpie's artwork. Not artwork. This is her character, and this is my artwork of the attack of drawing her character. Ronnie is immediately drawn to my attention to drawing Ronnie because of the fascination with Karen Jindosh. And it seems like whenever I read up about her character, that Ronnie was like being trained under Jindosh and stuff like that. And I thought it was really cool to just see some Jindosh appreciation, because I feel like Jindosh could have had more to his story, more being able to see more of his character. Because I really liked how Jindosh acted in the Clockwork Mansion of Dishonored 2. And I kind of wish that we could have seen a little bit more from that character, because he was kind of a funny character, you know. He mocked you through the entire way through the manor and stuff, you know. I really wish we could have seen more, you know. And Ronnie, I really liked how she looked and stuff, so I immediately drew up her character. And I talked about in the description how I really liked, just really liked how Ronnie had some relation to Jindosh and stuff. Next character I ended up drawing was this guy named Ezekiel, from user the number 40. 40, yeah, okay. His character Ezekiel just kind of stood out to me. I like how he looked and stuff, so I just kind of drew him up, and this is the artwork. I don't really have much else to say. It was just something very simple. I added some random brush strokes to try to make the outfit look a lot more artistic. Just try to make it look a bit better, but yeah, that's this one. And moving on to the next one, this one I have a lot to talk about. This comes from two of the characters, Vincent and Sybil from user Dagine? Dagine? I'm probably pronouncing his name completely wrong. But Dagine, I was originally going to draw two different characters. I was going to draw his Clockwork Soldier character of the ballerina Clockwork Soldier. But then, as I started drawing it, tried to draw it a bit more, I realized I was failing miserably, so I went for two different characters, Sybil and Vincent. And when I read up on the descriptions that Sybil and Vincent like to go out to the bar for a drink sometimes to catch up and stuff, I knew immediately what I had to draw. I had the scene. I already had it planned. And so, the way how I went about this was unique. I loaded up into Blender and started creating the background first. I took screenshots of the Hound Pits pub and Dishonored 1 to just try to get a reference of basically like the Hound Pits pub, and then I started modeling the Hound Pits pub in Blender so that these two characters can sit in a scene together. So everything that you're seeing in the background of this artwork is 3D modeled by me. I'm not great at 3D modeling. There's probably some mistakes in here with the topology and some shit. Like, I know that the handles of the bar taps just look odd. I feel like I could have done a better job at modeling it, but the bar stools are probably a little bit too big, maybe a little bit too small. I don't know. I definitely didn't do 100% of a great job with it, but I still did pretty good. And after I was done modeling the background, I imported it into Clip Studio Paint after rendering the image, and then started drawing in Vincent and Sybil. I think I did a pretty good job at drawing them. I wish I made their faces a little bit more dynamic rather than how I did of the current job, but for the most part, I think I did a really good job with this, and especially with like the dust floating in the air. That's just a tiny little detail that I thought was pretty damn sweet, and it made me very happy that Dagine ended up loving the fact I ended up drawing both, like just two characters, Sybil and Vincent, instead of just one or the other. I'm very glad that he ended up loving this. Next artwork is another scene that I need to talk about in depth. This was actually the first character I ever bookmarked, which was the character Nora by user Tekken1099, I think is how you pronounce that. And also there's another character I ended up including, even though I originally wasn't going to, and this is the character Whitico by user Skibnation, I think is how you pronounce that. This is Skip Nation's character, Whitico, in a scene with Nora. And originally the scene was just going to be of Nora, but whenever I read up on that these people are creatures, ghosts, these cryptids, I think is what they're called. I don't know. The ghost and the cryptid. When I read up that they like to terrorize people in the forest and stuff, and that they're kind of like friends and stuff. They run into each other in the same forest. I was like, all right. We're going to draw Nora as the ghost who's going to be like glowing a little bit in this forest, and there's going to be like this glowing aura around Nora, around the character Nora and stuff. And then Whitico's just going to stumble up upon her. I think Nora's, the character's pronoun is she, her. I could be wrong. Let me go check. Yeah, it's she, her. And then what's Whitico's pronouns again? Also she. Okay, so both of them are with the she/her pronouns. So I was thinking of Whitico stumbling upon her in the forest, just like, oh, it's you, you know, that kind of like atmosphere, that kind of like, oh, it's this person again, you know, because that's the vibe that I was getting when I was reading up the descriptions between Whitico and Nora and how they interacted with each other and stuff. And it made me very happy to know that with like the scene of the artwork and everything, the two users ended up loving the artwork. I'm so glad that they both loved it. Going on to another one, this is Ellen Burgess, I think is how you pronounce that, from user River Ranger 5. She already stuck out to me immediately because of River Ranger's description for the character, showing in what's River Ranger's pronouns? Female, whale. Okay. So Whale's character, her character, Ellen Burgess, was the only one with a different description that I had ever seen. Of course, she was in an alternate universe. You know, every Dishonored OC, I'm pretty sure, was a part of an alternate universe. But she, River Ranger's character had a different description that I really liked, how she shipped her with Samuel, the boatman, and how she had a low chaos and a high chaos, like, different paths for the character. How in low chaos, Ellen would give Corvo a bone charm as a parting gift, and bid Emily farewell, find somewhere to hide and survive the plague, and meet with Samuel again to settle down. Like, hell yeah, that's fucking awesome. And then the high chaos, damn, I'm very glad that River Ranger did not hold back with the darkness of the high chaos ending. Because in the high chaos ending, it says in the description, you can find a letter near Miss Burgess's belongings saying that she contracted the disease and she must leave. Same with what happens. You can find her blah 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 that she has the plague. She kind of hates you, but can't really say it because you can kill her, and you can. And you can still find the bone charm beside the letter. Instead of her settling with Samuel, while they were in the water, she turned into a weeper, and Samuel had to shoot her and throw her body into the river. Damn! That's dark! That's really sad! I can't imagine the pain that Samuel must have felt with this, like, kind of high chaos ending, you know, with Ellen Burgess. That's just... damn, dude. God damn. Now, I have a feeling that I accidentally drew the character a little too skinny because I saw the other reference of her that, I think, yeah, River Ranger had drawn. And it looked like she was a bit more, like, wider and stuff. I'm not very great at drawing thicker characters, so I'm very sorry, River Ranger, if I drew her a little too skinny. I'll do better next time, don't worry. I am drawing bigger characters for my stories that I'm writing lately, and practicing on that, so that next year, for Art Fight, I can draw other people's characters, and yours, with that same thickness and stuff, you know. I don't know how to describe, like, the fat, you know, the big bone bodies, you know, that stuff. Anyway, moving on. That was Ellen Bridges. And then we've got Bo Miller here, user the Sword Wizard. That's your pronouns, I don't want to assume. Doesn't say, but the name Alexis is mostly a woman's name, I think. So I'm going to, I'll probably have to assume because there's no pronouns listed on here. Okay, anyway, I'll just use they. Their character, Bo Miller, stood out to me, but also made it kind of tough to try and add color to the character, because I was like, wait, so this character's in black and white, this monochrome palette, what could I do? So I used one of the styles I do like using every once in a while, using, I have a pencil brush called the halftone brush, and it just makes halftones everywhere, and it adds this little, like, dotted style that I really, really like, and I did the 0.5 perspective on the forehead of this character. And I am very glad that Sword Wizard ended up loving this artwork. Next up is a character that I don't really know what animal this is. And I didn't know how to draw it. So I just kind of went silly style and made this, what's this character's name again? Jeffrey. I made Jeffrey just kind of smile and wave. I'd smile? Is it smiling? Is it blushing? I don't really know what this is, but this is user Wimpod Queen's character, Jeffrey. I don't really know how to describe what they are, so if Wimpod Queen ends up seeing this video, please describe in the comments what this kind of character is, because I have no idea. I did my first ever revenge against Elian. When he attacked my character, Christopher, I had attacked him back with his character DeWitt, which when I saw the name DeWitt, I immediately thought, oh, like Booker DeWitt from Bioshock Infinite, but no, this DeWitt actually came from a game called Call of Cthulhu that came out in 2018, to which I had to question him. I'm like, hey, is this character inspired by Call of Cthulhu, the game that came out in 2018? And we had this big old conversation about how, yes, he was as part of the is part of the like the alternate universe of the Call of Cthulhu game, which I thought was really, really cool. His design is based on Pierce, which I don't know which character that is, because I didn't go too far into the game. And whenever I played Call of Cthulhu, Alien, if you're watching this, you'll get to hear exactly, like, how far I got to go into this game. In Call of Cthulhu, I was at that beginning part with the town and stuff, and then that manor that comes up, and then you kind of, like, I think you get kidnapped or some shit, and then you kind of have to, like, try and escape. I got to, like, the stealthy portions of the game. And then that's when Xbox Game Pass removed it off of Game Pass, and I just never got a chance to continue playing it. I am waiting for it to go on sale at some point, either on the Xbox or on Steam. I don't even know if it is on Steam. And also, someone messaged me on Discord. And he ended up revenging me again with Layla, my woman OC, my female OC. Don't know what to call her. Layla is a character that is actually actively right now, as we are speaking. I'm the only one speaking here. As I am speaking, I am actively writing Layla's story, Desperate Hope, finally after this time, to which I'll make a different video talking about more about my characters and stuff, about their stories and stuff, and what I have in mind and such. But for right now, Layla is finally starting to get her story written, and I'm very happy that Elian ended up drawing her, because Layla is one of my special characters. She's like one of my first characters I ever drawn, so it made me very happy to see an artwork of her. And dude, Elian captured the details of drawing her so well. I love the interpretations of people seeing my characters and then drawing them in their own way to interpret them. It's just so cool. So yeah, there's that one. And then coming up next is I attacked Sparrow once again. I drew two of Sparrow's characters, Larry and Mika, or Mika? I don't know how to pronounce it, but this one was actually a bit of an experiment, because I know Sparrow appreciates literally anything that I'll draw for them. So I was like, okay, I want to experiment with this one. So the first thing I did was actually draw these two characters, drawing on easels that I had modeled in Blender. I modeled some easels in Blender with canvases on them, and I traced over them. And for the two characters, I just posed them to look like they're painting. And I kept the background transparent, because then I learned of this technique that you can do in Blender, where you can import 2D images and give them like normal mapping to allow their shadows to be cast on the ground in your 3D model. So what I did was that I drew the artwork first of the two characters painting, and then imported it as a mesh plane into Blender, and then modeled a scene around them. First of all, smartest thing I've ever done. Second of all, also the hardest thing I've ever done, because I had to tweak some things. I tried to make the lighting a bit better. I was trying to get the lighting to come out as best as it could, but unfortunately it didn't get to the saturation that I wanted it to be. I don't know how to use Blender 100% yet. I don't know how to use compositing. I'm still learning and stuff. But for a first time doing something like this, I think it turned out great, and Sparrow absolutely loved it. Like, a lot and stuff. Also, I forgot to mention, Sparrow actually ended up attacking me first when Art Fight had begun. No, wait, was it the revenge? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the revenge that Sparrow did me. The revenge that Sparrow did to me. Alright, here it is up on screen. It's the Family Guy death pose of me in a maid outfit with the bisexual flag colors and stuff. It's so fucking cool. I loved it. It was so funny. I'm not laughing a lot right now. I am smiling though. I don't know if you can hear me smile. But it was very great. So Larry and Mika was my revenge to Sparrow's artwork. And I also forgot to mention Nex's revenge against me. Or maybe it was maybe he attacked me first. I don't remember. I just looked at the artwork, and I don't think he attacked me. I think he attacked me first, and I revenged against him. Nex had drawn me as well as Lewis Lockhart. He drew me as well in a maid outfit with a bisexual flag as like a little tag and stuff, with the bisexual colors in the background. It's so awesome. It's so good. I love it so much. I have it saved on my computer and stuff. And I also revenge attacked him again, but we aren't going to cover it just yet. We need to cover the other characters again first. So that was Larry and Mika, and then the next artwork I won't talk about too in depth because it was just so simple, but I attacked Moth once again as a revenge of I forgot to talk about this too. Okay, hold on. Moth drew my character Violet as a deer and told me that it was kind of inspired by Deltarune with Deaths, because Moth got Deaths vibes from my character Violet, which I loved a lot, so hell yeah. And the artwork is so fucking cool. It's so in-depth and detailed. I really love Moth's shading style and stuff. The way how they render the artwork and stuff. It was so cool. Even though it's not colored, I love it. I love it to pieces. I love seeing like how they interpreted Violet as an furry animal thing? I don't know what to call it. And their description was "get furry to dipshit." Moving on, I saw this character by user King Spencer. I saw their character Vice Principal Bucket, and I was immediately like, I know of a joke that I can make with this character. I already know what I could do with Vice Principal Bucket, and it's a joke that I ended up doing with my character. So I put both my character and their character into the scene of them kind of like meeting up and talking to each other. And I made Vice Principal Bucket say, "That's a unique bucket," and then me saying, "It's a helmet." And the joke behind this is that there's a lot of people who have seen my helmet in real life, and yes, I have a Crusader helmet in real life, in case no one knows. And a lot of people have called me Buckethead a lot because of wearing the helmet and stuff. And since I get called Buckethead a lot, I just thought it'd be funny to be like, you know, have an interaction between the two of like, "Oh, that's a cool bucket. It's not a bucket, it's a helmet." Then my next artwork was my revenge against Nex, with his character Zip. How he's just kind of like questioning certain things in the forest or something like that. I really like how I did the lighting in this one. The shading, the way how Zip just naturally fits in the artwork and stuff. I think I did a great job with this one, and Nex also just absolutely loved it. And Nex ended up revenging me. We did a revenge chain and stuff, and he ended up attacking Layla. And oh my god, I love his interpretation of Layla. He got the dirty blonde hair correct, and the way how she's holding the lamp and everything, the lighting is just so good. And I don't blame the whole like armor thing, because like the armor, I don't know, Layla didn't have a proper outfit at the time. I did redesign her recently, but I'll talk about that in a different video when I talk about my characters more. But for what he did a great job with the interpretation and stuff of Layla, and I love it so much. Even got the eye color, like, I'm pretty sure her eye color is brown eyes or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, that was all from Nex though, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I attacked him again. No, I did, but we'll get to that at some point. The next artwork, I do want to talk about this one in depth a lot. This is Mesmerimic's character, Tristan, had caught my eye because I immediately thought of a cute interaction that I thought would be adorable between Tristan and Violet. And this is my first time drawing Violet in a while, like the first time I've done it in a very long time. This was, it was like, it's been 4 years, I'm pretty sure, 3 years, since the last time I had drawn Violet. So one, this allowed me to get a reference for Violet, so if anyone was going to draw her, they would be able to, you know, draw Violet, and know the color palette, how she has natural purple hair and stuff. And speaking of that, in the artwork, you can see the interaction between Tristan and Violet, how Tristan's just saying, "Is it naturally purple?" Because I feel like that's how she would end up reacting to someone who has naturally purple hair, like Violet. I thought it was a very adorable reaction between Tristan and Violet. And also I want to talk a little bit about the background, because there are some references in the background. The two pictures, the two paintings, or whatever you want to call them, on the left side, there's a delta rune, my own like little like lazily drawn delta rune, and it says Rune of Deltas on the image. And then there's the other image, it says "Ooh, banana." That's a reference to another reference of the Henry Stickmin collection, where I'm pretty sure if you click on a banana or something, it says "Ooh, banana" in the Henry Stickmin collection of the whole like Henry Stickmin game. So that's a reference to Henry Stickmin. And the background with the smiley faces and the wall pattern, that's actually a reference to Battle Block Theater. How the walls in that game, from what I remember, I based this off memory mostly, how the patterns on the walls and stuff had the smiley faces and stuff, and how the game was just kind of riddled with smiley faces everywhere, and how ridiculous that game was. So yeah, the whole background and stuff had a bunch of gaming references. The potted plant was the idea of what the plants may look like on Roca Fundita, which is my original story, where Violet comes from. And actually, speaking of Violet, I did get revenged against, because after I uploaded the artwork of Violet being more colored, it helped Sky Magpie take revenge against Ronnie, or against my artwork against Ronnie, and we started a little revenge chain. She had drawn Violet, and oh my god, I still geek out about this a lot, just like with anyone else who's drawn my characters. Dude, she did such a good job at drawing Violet. And she also drew the corset better than I did, because I don't know how to draw corsets, mind you. This is the I don't know how to I don't know how to draw corsets very well. But she did a good job with drawing the corset and the dress. The dress is so pretty with the lines and the flowers on it. It's so good, and she captured the skin color so well, and the purple eyes and the purple hair. Ah, it's just she's so pretty, and the earrings too, and the little like elf-like ears and stuff. Oh, I loved it so much. I was so happy. And even my friend Moth commented on Sky Magpie's Revenge too. How we both just complimented and stuff. And Sky Magpie did apologize how she didn't know really anything about the story, and how she found it, how it sounded like kind of interesting about my character, and the design just sounded really nice, how purple and yellow were complementary colors. So I left a comment back, just kind of like giving a description of like the idea that I have with the story with Violet and stuff, and how she's gonna become more rebellious later on and stuff, etc., etc. And yeah, I was just so happy with this artwork. It just, she did such a great job at drawing Violet. Now continuing onward, there's a guy who the username Jamim? I don't know how to pronounce it. So Jamim's character is actually just him. So I decided to have him have a interaction with me. And this is an interaction I commonly have with people, especially if they ask to wear it. But my helmet, a lot of times when I'm wearing it out in public or something, and I have like a friend that I know in public, or someone will see me in public wearing the helmet, they'll usually ask questions like, "Whoa, is that a real helmet?" and stuff. And then like I let them hit me and stuff. It actually protects my head and stuff. And I drew up this little interaction between Jimin and I, where we were like just basically allowing him to wear the helmet. And the funny interaction of, "Oh, it's not very comfortable to wear, huh?" And he said, "No, not really, but it's still very cool, regardless." And I just thought this was like a funny interaction, because I have so many people who are like, "I want to wear the helmet, I want to wear the helmet." I let them wear the helmet, and they immediately go, "This is not comfortable to wear. My nose is being smushed as fuck right now." And I'm like, yeah, it's not fun to wear. It's not fun to wear at all. But it is also fun to wear at the same time. Like, it's not comfortable, but it's also fun to wear at the same time. And I drew up a little interaction and stuff. I thought it was cool, you know. Next artwork was, I thought this one was really cool to draw. This is user Bromadaire's character, Sylvan? I learned that this character actually doesn't have a name. It's just called Sylvan Deity. I thought Sylvan here looked really, really cool. And so I ended up making like a tarot card inspired artwork of Sylvan here. I'm just going to call them Sylvan. I know they're unnamed, but I basically drew up like a little like tarot card inspired artwork, like trees, flowers, them in their underpants with like the little hearts and stuff, because it was mentioned in the description of Sylvan Deity that they wear the boxers or something like that, with heart boxers and stuff. So that's what I gave them. I also did a really good job with the fur on them and stuff. And Bromodaire absolutely loved the contrast of the boxers with the intimidating stance and stuff, with the whole artwork and stuff. It was just super cool. And I'm glad that they ended up loving it. And they did revenge against my character Nicholas, where it looks like also like a tarot card. I think it's inspired by a tarot card. I could be wrong. Or maybe just like those old like playing deck cards or something. But so they drew Nicholas in this way. I just thought it looked so cool. I really loved the outfit, and actually I did use it as a little bit as inspiration for when I was drawing Nicholas's outfit, to which, as I said before, 100th time now, I'll talk more about my characters in depth in a different video. But I really like how they just covered my character very well with the whole fantasy art style and fantasy work and stuff. It was so good. I loved it so much. And they also loved my artwork too, and I'm just glad that that interaction turned out so well. And then we're coming up to the last 6 artworks. I feel like I've been talking forever. I have been. It's been 1 hour now of talking. Here we go again. I've revenged against Ruby's artwork that she had done of Atlas. I had revenged against her and had drawn her character Dasha. I know I'm pronouncing that one correctly because she included the pronunciation. There's not too much special I could say about this artwork. I modeled another bed. It's not even the same one I did previously. I modeled a different bed, did a cloth simulation with the blanket, and then drew up the artwork, and boom, there it is. The only thing I forgot to do in this artwork is to draw the facial hair. This was during the time that I was getting very, not burnt out, but like, just kind of tired and stuff, because I was drawing so much. It was just so many artworks in a single month and stuff, and I was getting, not really burnt out, it's just like, I was just kind of forgetting shit, you know, I was just trying to get more attacks out before the end of the month. But yeah, that was Dasha, and Ruby ended up loving it, which I'm very glad. And then, the last few artworks was mostly of Sparrow's characters and my friend Nex. So, we're going to go through them kind of like lightning fast. This character here, it's Tomomi. She was, this was a character that was really hard to draw, which I think... What's the pronouns of this character? She, her. Okay, I was right. This character is really hard to draw. She was very, 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 very bright pastel colors. Made it really hard to draw, to shade her into some sort of like bright landscape and stuff. And yeah, that was this artwork. And Sparrow ended up loving the goofy face that I did of her. And yeah, that was a very good artwork. And then the next artwork is also Sparrow's character, specifically the character Espawn. And I thought to do some cool, edgy shit with this character, with summoning this little, like, power, glowing, void ball thing, smoke cloud in her hands, and stuff. And Sparrow also loved this one, too. And then the next artwork is Nex's character. This was my revenge against Nex from Layla. And I did a revenge on Ash, about how she's just kind of posing, looks like she's in hell, and stuff. And I didn't really know what kind of description to give to this artwork and stuff, and I realized that this character had braids and stuff. I didn't know how to draw braids and such. It's really hard to draw, but I did give it my best, and Nex absolutely loved this one too, even saying that he would eat the artwork for some reason. And then the last two characters I did 505, which is Sparrow's character. He was originally just like this, like the animal character is an animal. I think it's a what's that? It's a Warrior Cats like original character, a Warrior Cats OC, I think, maybe, I don't know. And then I was like, what happens if I draw him human? And that's what this artwork is. It's him glitching out. I'll show both versions because I made a version that was glitching out and the other one that's not glitching out. Sparrow ended up loving this one, especially with the one of where I drew 505 peeking out one of the portals. In the background of like what he looked like before I turned him into a human, and they absolutely loved that too. This artwork scored 69 points. I was really happy about that. And the final artwork for Art Fight that I had drawn was of Sparrow's character, Misty, just sitting in a chair and enjoying a nice cup of tea. And to talk about further in this artwork, the painting on the wall is what the character originally looked like, but it is my artwork of it. The actual artwork I put up on the screen, it was a traditional piece and stuff, and I drew her both in the human form that I did for Misty, as well as the animal form. This was one of my highest scoring attacks, not the highest, but one of the highest. It was 104 points scored. And I did an animation with this one as well. There's a glowing lamp animation from above. It's the first time I've done an effect like that. And then, of course, the little like hot steam below on the cup. And that was done really, really well. I think I really like that one. And yeah, that's all the attacks that I did for the year. And let's look at all the defenses, because they all deserve an honorable mention, just straight in a row. And I also forgot to mention, Jamim didn't actually set it as a revenge, I don't think, against whenever I drew him. So he drew my character Nicholas, or no, not Nicholas, I was wrong. He drew my character Christopher. And oh my god, this is the prettiest artwork I have ever seen. It's probably my favorite out of all of them. Actually, I love them all equally, but this is just so cool with the power lines and the sky and everything. God, it looks so cool. I fucking loved it. I was so happy with it. And as we see across the screen, we'll be seeing every single artwork that people have drawn against me. I will mention their users. And I don't think I have anything else to talk about. I think that's it. That's all. Now, I have updated my art fight page to include more characters, but we'll talk about that next year when art fight happens next year. And yeah, I'm very happy that I got to participate in art fight this year. It was extremely fun, and I had a lot of fun. And let's go ahead and see those results in case no one looked it up already. And Team Comedy ended up winning art fight, and Tragedy was in second place. And the team that I was on, Team Mystery, I was in last place. Unfortunately, I was in last, but that's okay because I wasn't there to win. I was there to just kind of have a lot of fun, and that's what happened. I had a lot of fun. I ended up finding an art style, and it was just a great year, or a great month, you know. It was incredible, and I can't wait to participate for next year. Now, I do want to talk about one thing, though, that I don't want to go too in-depth with it, but it was just kind of something suspicious. I'll be putting the screenshots up on screen right now, but there was in the art fight Discord, there was this person who was who didn't want to draw anyone's LGBT OCs because they saw it as like propaganda or some shit like that. It was just a troublesome person who was very homophobic being in the chat, and the way how the moderators of the Discord handled it was not in a way that I would expect that you should handle this sort of thing. They kind of just swept this person under the rug and told everyone, forget about it, just move on. And I'm not trying to say that like the art fight team's homophobic or anything. Definitely not, but I just wanted to say that that's just, I feel like that's not the right way of doing things, maybe. Like, I get it, you don't want drama in the general chat, but like, you should announce, in my opinion, you should announce when you've banned people to show to people, like troublesome people, hey, don't be troublesome in general, you know, or you'll get banned, you know, like, it's because common sense isn't very common anymore, so you should announce when you've banned people, and it'd also make a lot of people happy too, just to know that this person was banned. I had to go looking into myself to see if this person was banned by searching for the user in the Discord, and they were banned, thank God, but I've noticed that the Art Fight Discord, to which I'm not really surprised, any public Discord is always going to be troublesome, but that person did just so happen to just be one of the few people I saw that could have some issues and stuff, etc. And also, one of the moderators was being really shitty with me because the person who was being homophobic was like, please forgive me, guys, and I said never, and the Discord moderator just got really pissed at me, like, bro, you're getting mad at me because I'm talking shit to a fucking homophobic person who hates the LGBT community? Like, okay, maybe you should take that moderator's position out. Like, out from power, because that's you shouldn't be yelling at the person who's yelling at a homophobe, you know? You should be yelling at the homophobe, but they weren't yelling at the homophobe. They were just telling everyone to move on. It was really weird. It was the only time it happened, though, so I'm not going to bark about it too much. But anyway, good month, great year of art fight, and I had a lot of fun. And here's the honorable mentions to everybody who got mentioned. Go ahead, pull up the document. Here's every user that I attacked, and it also probably received an attack with. Sparrow, which they don't have social media. Bat and Bug, they have a Twitch, twitch.tv/batandbug. Mash Noir, OJK, I could only find an art fight. I couldn't find any social media from them, so there's the art fight. Moth, which has a toy house with moth flowers. Next doesn't have any social media. Ruby's Instagram, Simp666. Alien with Instagram, Alien Bear. Mozzarella Mint with Tumblr. Loading with a pronoun page. That's all I could find for loading. Sky Magpie has a Twitter. Sky Magpie Art. Number 40 has a Tumblr. Dagon has an Instagram. Tekken and Skib Nation doesn't have any social medias. So that's their users on Art Fight right there. River Ranger has an Instagram, River_Ranger5. The Sword Wizard has a Twitter account. Wimpod Queen just has a toy house. King Spencer has an Instagram, Kings_Spencer, with King having the I instead of being an I, it's a 1. Mesmeric has a Tumblr. Jammin has also an Instagram, _Jammin_M. Bromadaire does not have any social media, so here's their art fight right here. That's it. That's all the people. I had a great year, and I don't know what else to say. I think it's time that I end off the video. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day and or night, and I hope that anyone who participated in the art fight had a great year, and I hope that next year will be just as great. Maybe I'll be on the winning team for once, maybe not. Who knows? I tend to bring bad luck. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day and or night, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!